What if you suddenly looked up and saw a flying machine so enormous that it seemed to block out the sky? A cargo aircraft so massive that every landing shakes the runway and every takeoff leaves thousands of people in disbelief. Today, we're exploring an incredible giant aircraft inspired by Antonov's legendary heavy-lift designs. You'll discover how such a behemoth could carry oversized cargo, why pilots need exceptional skill to control it, and what makes aircraft of this size some of the most fascinating machines ever built. Stay with us until the end, because the engineering behind these giants is even more unbelievable than their size. Imagine standing beside a runway as the ground begins to tremble beneath your feet. At first, you hear only a distant roar, but within seconds that sound grows into a thunder so powerful that conversations stop, cameras turn toward the sky, and every eye follows a single massive shape approaching from the horizon. It isn't just another airplane. It is a flying giant, an aircraft inspired by the legendary Antonov heavy transport family, built to move cargo that no ordinary airplane could ever carry. Every meter of its enormous wings, every engine mounted beneath those wings, and every wheel beneath its landing gear tells the same story. This machine was created to accomplish missions that seem impossible. The first thing most people notice is its unbelievable size. Photographs rarely capture its true scale. Even videos cannot fully explain what it feels like to watch such a giant moving through the air. Airport vehicles look like tiny toys beside it. Ground crew members appear no larger than small dots. Even experienced aviation enthusiasts often pause for a moment when they see an aircraft of this class for the first time. But size alone is not what makes this aircraft extraordinary. Every giant cargo aircraft is the result of decades of engineering, innovation, and countless hours of testing. Every component has been designed to carry incredible weight while maintaining stability, efficiency, and safety. The enormous wings generate enough lift to support hundreds of tons. Powerful engines produce immense thrust, allowing this massive aircraft to accelerate down the runway before climbing steadily into the sky. One of the greatest challenges for engineers has always been balancing weight and strength. Building a larger aircraft sounds simple in theory, but every additional meter of wingspan increases structural stress. Every extra kilogram of cargo requires stronger landing gear, more powerful engines, and advanced flight control systems. Designers constantly search for materials that are both lightweight and incredibly durable. Looking closely at the aircraft's nose reveals another fascinating feature. Unlike traditional cargo planes, giant Antonov-inspired aircraft often feature an oversized cargo loading system that allows extremely large equipment to be transported quickly. Massive industrial machinery, helicopters, wind turbine blades, military vehicles, humanitarian aid supplies, and oversized construction equipment can all fit inside a cargo hold that seems almost impossible to believe. The cargo compartment itself is like a flying warehouse. Instead of rows of passenger seats, there is an enormous open space reinforced with heavy-duty flooring capable of supporting incredible loads. Built-in cranes, rollers, and specialized loading systems help move cargo safely into position. Every mission is carefully planned because balancing the aircraft is just as important as loading it. Weight distribution plays a critical role. Even if the aircraft is capable of carrying hundreds of tons, the cargo cannot simply be placed anywhere. Engineers calculate the center of gravity with remarkable precision. A load shifted only slightly in the wrong direction can affect handling during takeoff or landing. Every pallet, vehicle, and container is secured according to strict procedures before the aircraft leaves the ground. Then comes the moment everyone waits for, the takeoff. As the engines reach maximum power, the sound becomes almost overwhelming. Heat waves shimmer behind each engine as thousands of kilograms of thrust push the aircraft forward. Slowly at first, the enormous wheels begin rolling. Despite its massive size, the acceleration continues steadily. The aircraft gains speed while the wings begin generating lift. For those watching from the runway, it seems almost impossible that something this heavy could ever leave the ground. Yet physics tells a different story. Lift increases with speed, and eventually the enormous wings generate enough force to overcome the aircraft's tremendous weight. The nose gently rises, followed moments later by the main landing gear leaving the runway. The instant the wheels separate from the ground is unforgettable. A machine weighing hundreds of tons suddenly becomes graceful. The giant climbs into the sky with surprising elegance, proving that careful engineering can overcome what once appeared impossible. Inside the cockpit, however, everything is calm. Pilots rely on years of training rather than emotion. Every instrument is monitored continuously. Engine performance, hydraulic systems, navigation equipment, weather conditions, fuel consumption, and flight controls all receive constant attention. Flying an aircraft of this size demands teamwork, discipline, and complete concentration. Modern flight systems assist the crew, but they never replace experience. Strong crosswinds, changing weather, and heavy cargo all require precise decision-making. Pilots must think several minutes ahead because every maneuver takes longer than it would in a smaller aircraft. Cruising high above the clouds, the aircraft becomes an essential part of global transportation. While passenger jets connect people, heavy cargo aircraft connect industries. They transport equipment needed for power plants, hospitals, mining operations, disaster relief missions, and major construction projects. When urgent deliveries cannot wait for ships or trucks, aircraft like this become the fastest solution. During humanitarian emergencies, their importance becomes even greater. Following earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes, roads and ports may become unusable. Giant cargo aircraft can deliver emergency shelters, food supplies, medical equipment, rescue vehicles, and generators directly to affected regions, helping save lives when every hour matters. Military organizations also value heavy transport aircraft because they can move armored vehicles, helicopters, engineering equipment, and thousands of kilograms of supplies across continents in a matter of hours. Speed and flexibility often determine the success of critical missions. Despite all this capability, operating such an aircraft is incredibly expensive. Fuel consumption alone is enormous. Regular maintenance involves thousands of inspections, specialized technicians, and replacement of components designed to withstand tremendous stress. Every flight represents the combined efforts of pilots, engineers, mechanics, dispatchers, air traffic controllers, cargo specialists, and ground crews working together with remarkable precision. Even landing presents another extraordinary challenge. Bringing such a massive aircraft safely back to Earth requires careful planning long before reaching the airport. Pilots gradually reduce altitude while monitoring wind direction, runway conditions, and aircraft weight. The descent must remain smooth because sudden corrections become increasingly difficult with an aircraft of this size. As the runway comes into view, the landing gear extends. Dozens of wheels lock into position, ready to absorb the tremendous force of touchdown. Spectators gather along airport fences, cameras ready, waiting for the unforgettable moment when one of aviation's largest machines returns to the ground. The aircraft continues descending with remarkable stability. Every movement appears slow and controlled. Then, only a few feet above the runway, the pilots gently reduce power. The main landing gear touches first, producing clouds of white tire smoke as hundreds of tons meet the pavement. Reverse thrust activates almost immediately, helping slow the aircraft while the enormous braking system brings it safely to taxi speed. For everyone watching, it is an unforgettable display of engineering, precision, and human achievement. What appears effortless from the outside is actually the result of thousands of hours of planning, design, testing, maintenance, and professional skill. And this is only the beginning of the story. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the engineering secrets behind these giant cargo aircraft, explore how their powerful engines produce unbelievable thrust, uncover the technology hidden inside the cockpit, and reveal why flying machines of this scale continue to amaze aviation enthusiasts around the world. As the aircraft slowly taxis away from the runway, most people believe the difficult part of the mission is already over. In reality, the journey of a giant cargo aircraft has only entered its next stage. Every movement on the ground is carefully coordinated because an aircraft of this size cannot simply turn, park, or unload like an ordinary airplane. Ground crews communicate constantly with the cockpit, guiding the massive machine centimeter by centimeter toward its designated parking position. Once the engines are shut down, another incredible operation begins. Specialized cargo teams inspect the aircraft before unloading starts. Every tie-down point, cargo lock, and loading rail is checked one more time. Safety always comes first because even a small mistake can have serious consequences when dealing with cargo weighing dozens or even hundreds of tons. The cargo door slowly opens, revealing an enormous interior that resembles a flying warehouse rather than an airplane. The empty cargo compartment echoes with every footstep, reminding everyone just how large the aircraft truly is. Forklifts, heavy-duty loaders, cranes, and transport vehicles move into position, each playing a specific role in removing the cargo safely and efficiently. One of the most impressive aspects of heavy cargo aviation is versatility. No two missions are exactly the same. One flight may transport massive construction equipment to a remote mining site, while the next could carry emergency medical supplies to a disaster zone. Another mission might involve oversized industrial generators, satellite components, helicopters, or equipment too large to fit inside ordinary cargo aircraft. Every shipment requires detailed planning long before loading begins. Engineers calculate dimensions, total weight, balance, tie-down requirements, and loading sequences using advanced computer systems. Even the order in which cargo is placed inside the aircraft matters because unloading at different destinations must remain safe and efficient. Weather is another major challenge. Strong winds, heavy rain, snow, or extreme temperatures can affect aircraft performance significantly. Pilots and dispatchers continuously monitor changing forecasts throughout every mission. Sometimes a flight must change altitude, alter its route, or even divert to another airport if weather conditions become unsafe. Crosswinds deserve special attention. Although these giant aircraft appear unstoppable, they remain vulnerable to powerful side winds during takeoff and landing. Pilots often make small but continuous control adjustments to keep the aircraft aligned with the runway. To passengers watching from nearby terminals, these corrections may seem minor, but inside the cockpit every movement is calculated with remarkable precision. Fuel management is equally important. Carrying more fuel increases weight, but carrying too little limits operational flexibility. Flight planners carefully calculate the exact amount required for the route, alternate airports, expected weather conditions, and emergency reserves. Every kilogram matters because efficiency directly affects operational costs. Maintenance is another reason these flying giants continue operating safely year after year. After each mission, technicians inspect engines, hydraulic systems, landing gear, flight controls, electrical equipment, and structural components. Thousands of individual parts work together during every flight, and each one must perform perfectly. The landing gear alone represents an engineering masterpiece. Unlike smaller aircraft with only a few wheels, giant cargo planes distribute their enormous weight across multiple landing gear assemblies. This design spreads pressure more evenly across the runway while improving stability during taxi, takeoff, and landing. Watching dozens of wheels retract into the fuselage after takeoff is an unforgettable sight for aviation enthusiasts. The engines are equally remarkable. Each turbofan produces extraordinary amounts of thrust, allowing the aircraft to overcome its immense weight. During takeoff, the synchronized roar from multiple engines creates one of aviation's most powerful sounds. Despite their strength, these engines must also operate efficiently for long-distance flights, balancing power with fuel economy. Inside the cockpit, advanced digital displays provide pilots with continuous information about every major system on board. Flight computers assist with navigation, engine monitoring, fuel management, and system diagnostics. Yet technology never replaces human judgment. Pilots remain responsible for every critical decision throughout the mission. Communication also plays a vital role. Pilots constantly exchange information with air traffic controllers, dispatch centers, weather specialists, and ground operations teams. Every instruction contributes to maintaining safe separation from other aircraft while ensuring smooth operations from departure to arrival. For aviation photographers, the arrival of a giant cargo aircraft often becomes a major event. Enthusiasts gather near airports hours before landing, hoping to capture the perfect shot as the enormous aircraft approaches the runway. Social media quickly fills with stunning images showing its gigantic wingspan, towering landing gear, and dramatic tire smoke during touchdown. Children watching from airport observation areas often experience pure amazement. Many future pilots, engineers, and aviation professionals first discover their passion after seeing a giant aircraft land just a few hundred meters away. These flying giants inspire curiosity and remind people that human imagination continues pushing technological boundaries. Although newer aircraft continue entering service, heavy-lift cargo airplanes remain among the most valuable assets in global aviation. They perform missions that would otherwise require weeks of transportation by sea or road. When speed is essential, there is simply no substitute for an aircraft capable of carrying oversized cargo across continents within hours. Looking toward the future, engineers continue exploring lighter composite materials, more efficient engines, sustainable aviation fuels, hybrid propulsion concepts, and advanced flight management systems. These innovations aim to reduce fuel consumption while increasing operational capability, ensuring that the next generation of giant cargo aircraft becomes even more capable than today's designs. Perhaps the most remarkable achievement is that these enormous machines represent far more than metal, engines, and electronics. They symbolize decades of engineering excellence, international cooperation, and humanity's determination to solve seemingly impossible transportation challenges. Every successful mission demonstrates what becomes possible when science, technology, and skilled professionals work together toward a common goal. As the sun begins to set behind the airport, the aircraft stands quietly on the apron after completing another demanding mission. The engines have fallen silent, the cargo has been delivered, and ground crews continue preparing for the next assignment. Tomorrow, another destination awaits, another oversized shipment must be transported, and another chapter will be written in the ongoing story of giant cargo aviation. Watching a machine of this scale lift gracefully into the sky or touch down with incredible precision never loses its magic. It reminds us that aviation is not only about reaching destinations, it's about overcoming challenges that once seemed impossible. Every takeoff proves the power of engineering, every landing reflects the skill of experienced crews, and every completed mission highlights the vital role these flying giants play in connecting industries, supporting humanitarian efforts, and keeping the world moving. If you enjoyed witnessing the incredible power and engineering behind this massive aircraft, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next aviation adventure. There are many more amazing aircraft, breathtaking takeoffs, and unforgettable landings waiting to be explored. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.